MIDSOMMAR by Ari Aster, the director of Hereditary. This movie was co-signed by Jordan Peele as the scariest movie of the year. And that's where I take issue. I don't think the movie's scary. I wouldn't even categorize it as a horror movie. It's more of a thriller, a very intense thriller with some horror elements because there's some blood and gore in there. It takes place in Sweden with a group of friends who had a planned trip to Sweden, but one of the guys brings along his grieving girlfriend, Danny, because she has some personal tragedy take place in her life where she lost her parents and her sister all in the same night. I'm not going to tell you how, but yeah, it was sad. But he brings along his grieving girlfriend, unbeknownst really up until the last minute of the rest of his group of friends. So when they get there, the parts when they get there from the start can be described as a commercial for this is your brain on drugs. It's they're just popping pills from the start in the field, and then you kind of figure out that it's all a setup that's leading to something planned by this community. So they're going there to witness this festival because one of the group of friends who grew up there, he describes this community as his family after he lost his parents. And they're going there to witness this festival that only takes place, I think they said, every 90 years. And Danny's there. She has a bad trip on the drugs from when they start, but yet she's still gung-ho. Let's go, let's continue, let's move on. I don't want to ruin your trip, babe. That type. She's very apologetic to her boyfriend and his friends. She's like, I don't want to ruin your trip. Let's go, let's keep it going. You know, she's trying to keep her energy up, you know, but she's hurting on the inside. So they go and they finally get to the community. Everybody's in white. It's like the festival's finna start. We got some stuff planned. Y'all are welcome. You know, eat, drink, be merry, whatever y'all need. Let us know. Whoop-de-whoop what. So they get there, and just from the start, the vibes are real Waco-ish. Very David Koreshi. The guy that's from the community does his best to explain what's going on. The one melanated character in the movie, I'll say, he's there doing the thesis on it, so he knows a little bit about what's going on, this ceremonies and this festival and these rituals, but still it's a part of the movie, and I don't want to spoil it, but I gotta say it because it's probably the first oh shit moment of the movie for me. Is he's explaining the way their life cycles work. And he's like, when you get to 72, you know, that's your winner. And he's like, everyone's like, well, what happens after that? Well, the next day they get their answer. So they're all sitting around the table, which is in the shape of one of their rooms for their religion or their culture or whatever. And they're all standing up, and everyone, you know, the people that are visiting, they're rightfully asked, like, you know, when we gonna sit down, when we gonna partake of these victuals. And the guy from the community is like, oh, we'll sit down when it's right. So two of the older members of the community come up to the head of the table, and they stand there finally. Then they sit down, everyone sits down and eats and partakes and stuff, yada, yada, yada. So they finish, everyone finishes, and they carry off the old people in reverence and, you know, joy. It's like, oh, okay, they celebrating their old. That's awesome. So they carry them to a cliff. It's a cliff. Everyone else is at the bottom of the cliff. Old people and a few people are at the top of the cliff. And they're just doing this thing. They slick, you know, blood oath or whatever, smeared on a rock. And the lady stands out at the edge, and everyone's looking up like, oh, that's awesome. You know, what are we doing here? You know, the people, the guests come walking up like, oh, what's going on? And the black guy, he has some clue. He looks at the guy that's from the community. He's like, this is what I think it is. And he's like, you know, just watch. So yeah, and she stands there. The older lady, she stands there, And then she jumps off the cliff, lands on the rock, kills herself. And everybody, all the guests are like, oh shit. And rightfully so, because that's how I would have been. I'm like, oh shit. Then the guy comes up to the edge, and the dudes that are there, I guess they're freaking out, like, no, man, don't do it, man, don't do it. He jumps off the cliff, but he jumps off feet first, like, feet first. And he comes crashing down, destroys his legs, and he's still alive. So then you notice one of the guys from the community, by the way, that was not a mess up. I'm really out here in the elements. But anyway, one of the guys from the community comes up with a gigantic hammer. It's like he's still alive. He takes the hammer, he smashes the dude in the face. Then a lady comes after him with the hammer, smashes the dude in the face. And they're just doing this like it's just some celebration. And everyone's freaking out. And that was the first oh shit moment of the movie. And there's more. But with that said, you start to figure out that everyone that was brought there as a guest was brought there for a purpose. This community had this planned out. The guys that invited these people had this planned out. It was all part of this festival. The young lady that was brought there, she wasn't brought there under the pretense of like, oh, she has to be a sacrifice or something like that. She was brought there because, like the guy that's from the community, she lost her family. He was like, this community became my family. And he basically uses her grief and her feelings of towards her boyfriend to get her ingrained into this community. And they all with it. And the rest of the people, man, yeah, they not so lucky. But with that said, would I recommend this movie? Yes. This movie was great. It was well shot. It's low budget. I think domestically it only did something like 20-30 million, which I speak like 20-30 million is not a lot of money to me. If I had $30 million, I don't think I'd be doing YouTube for a living. I'm not doing it for a living now, but anyway, it's a lot of money to me. But you know, for a movie that costs $6 million to make or something like that, and it has such a short production time, it's very good. I enjoyed it. I would recommend you get out and go see it, or maybe when it comes to DVD or your Redbox, check it out there. And yeah, I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. And let me know if you've seen it. Let me know what you think down below. And don't spoil it, but just know a lot of Waco vibes. I'll see you out there on the internet somewhere in the next video. Peace.